Okay, so I got a couple of questions for you. We're doing the phone interviews because my camera ones right now, because we're frozen over in Austin, we may or may not have power.
Mm-hmm.
So we're using the phone right now. It's easier, it's quicker, and I can get stories up faster.
Basic.
Right. So someone had just written about Jimi Hendrix. Do you remember when he got up and played with you guys?
Yeah, and
Tell us about that.
he was laid back. You know, I remember that he's a great guitar player, and he didn't get in anybody's way. And I just thought it was way cool having him come up and play with us.
Well, someone mentioned that they had read that he was taking the place of the guitar player.
No, hell no, he wasn't taking anybody's place. There was vacancy after vacancy there, though. But he had bigger fish to fry and worked more than once with Delaney and Bonnie. You know.
So what was it like to have to play with Jimi Hendrix?
I don't know, because he was another guitar player. You know, he wasn't like the famous guy then. You know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wasn't. He was just getting started. I mean, he hadn't gone to England or anything. See, his fame really didn't bust. He didn't bust open until he got to England. And the bass player that was with the Animals, Charles something, became his manager, and that's when Jimi Hendrix's career took off. I saw him, as a matter of fact, in playing with Little Richard.
You did?
Yeah. And it was like Miami or someplace. And he was down on the end, and he was doing that thing, you know, like he does, and he was biting the air. And Richard stopped the show. He said, "Hey, Mr. Guitar Man, it's my show." He said, "You can get your own show, but this is my show."
You were there for that.
Yeah. He stopped and called him down.
And what did
He was
Jimi
biting the air
Hendrix?
and doing all that stuff, you know.
That's awesome. No, very few people saw him before he got famous.
Yeah.
know,
That's when our paths crossed, you know. I want to say he sat in with Delaney and Bonnie twice. I think he did, you know, but I don't remember the second time. Because a lot of people sat in with us, and it was just somebody else to sit in, you know.
Right. He wasn't famous at the time,
No,
so nobody even really mentioned
he was well known, but he wasn't like. This was before Monterey, you know, Monterey Pop.
Right.
And that's when, you know, Alan Parisi gave him he put on the Monterey, he funded the Monterey Pop Festival, and Alan did. And his mom and daddy owned the Dixie Lily Sweetheart Cup Company, and he got like $1 million a month or $1 million a week. That was what it was. So because he had $52 million a year coming from his family just to keep him away.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we went to their house. They were really nice folks, and they lived in a normal 4-bedroom, had sparkly ceilings, you know. You would never think these people were just mega wealthy. But, Alan had to go to a psychiatrist because he had so much money. He told me this, and I said, wow, I should have that problem, you know.
Yeah, right. All of us should, yeah.
You know.
Well, I wanted to bring up this guy was so great, and I loved listening to him on the old recordings, and it was B. Mitchell Reed.
Yeah.
B. Mitchell Reed was a pioneer of radio, and he had you guys on his show before you went out on the road.
Yeah, before we were a band. Delaney and Bonnie and I went on the road for a radio tour. So it was Alan, Delaney, and Bonnie, me. And we were hitting all the main radio stations all across the United States. And a lot of them, we hadn't even set anything up. And Delaney we'd go in and say, "Hey, we're Delaney and Bonnie and Bobby, and we're going to come."
Oh, he loved it. You guys hadn't even actually put the record out yet. He had a copy of it.
And we'd go and we'd play for them.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them were set up, you know, that they knew we were coming, but there were some that didn't, and we went anyway. And I remember it real well. Delaney said, "Let's just go anyway. They're not going to say no to us," and they didn't. Nobody did. But B. Mitchell Reed was the first guy to interview us when we went out with Delaney and Bonnie and me.
May of 1969.
Yeah, you got that information somewhere out of a
Yeah. Well, he was talking to Delaney had been writing quite a bit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was talking to him about all the songs that he'd been writing. And at that time, well, I still think he had some songs that were with Metric Music. He was talking about writing with for the Staple Singers and people like that.
Yeah, well, he was. When we told him everybody we'd see, we said, "Well, we're going to come back with a band next time we're around. We'll have a band." And by golly, we did too. We had a great band.
Yeah, he said by the time you finish this tour,
Yeah,
you're going to come back with the band.
yeah, and that's what we did. And before we'd cut a record or anything like that, you know, it's just the three of us going out and laying the foundation.
Oh, you guys sounded amazing.
Yeah. We didn't need it. We really didn't need anybody, you know. We could have done that, just the three of us and acoustic guitar, no problem.
Yeah.
Our vocals were just great, you know.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I didn't know I was going to be having to sing chick parts when I got there, but I got behind it all right because, you know, all of my brothers in Memphis, you know, my black brothers in Memphis, they sang all those parts and so baby, doing the steps and all the business.
That's right. They were up there.
Yeah.
Nothing to be embarrassed
Impressions
about.
and all that. So it was easy. It was a good call for Delaney and them to invite me to start a band with them. So I was the first original. I was the first one to be there and the last one to leave.
Yeah. Well, you know, that high part, it brings a richness to those higher notes. See, that's what you couldn't get.
And there's some of the songs Never in the Song of Love, I got to sing in my natural voice and played my thighs.
You played your thighs.
Yeah,
Play your
Delaney's
thighs.
playing a briefcase. I played
Play
my
your
thighs.
thighs. Play your thighs, honey.
It does sound like a horse clopping, you know.
Yeah, you can hear that on the, I think it was the motel shot.
Yeah. So it's
Bobby
all,
on thighs.
all you know, come up with whatever it was at the moment, you know. If it had been shaking a number 2 wash tub, it'd have been there for sure.
Right. Do you have any other recollections of that radio tour?
Yeah, I got a lot of recollections. That was, a matter of fact, that was the tour we were on when it just fate happened, and we were staying in the same hotel as Leon Russell and Rita Coolidge. That's when they were an item, and they just happened to be at the same hotel we were at, and in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's when we were all in Leon and Rita's room. And she told about the dream that she had the night before about, you know, the music coming over the radio and all of that. And that sparked the writing of Superstar. Right away, Delaney and Leon latched onto the story she had just told about her dream. And they ran us all out of the room and wrote Superstar while I was listening down the hall, and I'd go up and stick my ear to the door just to listen to this great thing come together, you know. And Bonnie and Rita went off and said, well, we'll write our own. And they went up to Bonnie's room, or Bonnie's room, yeah. And of course they didn't, you know.
Well, that's interesting that you mentioned that she was Leon's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And Leon failed to put her name on Superstar, but he put Bonnie's name on it, right? That's what the claim
The only reason
is.
he put Bonnie's on there was because of the deal that was made to settle the agreement when they got divorced.
I know. My point is that how ridiculous the whole story is that, you know, she claimed that she wrote that as well.
She didn't write no Superstar.
I know.
If Bonnie and Rita wrote Superstar, so did me and Alan.
You're not understanding.
It had nothing to do with it.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. Anyway, it's funny. So yeah. So yeah, that's how we're gonna end this.
That's fine.
Okay.
A little
Oh.
dab of the truth to say.
Happy
All right.
Valentine's Day, my
Happy Valentine's
love.
Day tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
That's what Jody just told me it was tomorrow.
Oh, we're all iced over. I don't know what the hell's going on out
Yeah,
there.
we don't know what's going on.
Happy Valentine's Day, my love.
You too, sweetheart.
Choking on my cracker. You just said you were surprised that Leon had a girlfriend.
I was surprised he had one at all. You know, here he was, he's an ex-polio victim, and he walks with a cane and all this, and he was in his 20s, and you would have thought he was like 67 or something, you know, and over the hill. He was just coming off the flatlands, you know. Yeah. He and Rita were an item, you know. But I could never understand him. And he had this other girlfriend, a black chick named Mary Clayton, I believe.
Oh,
God
singer.
damn, what a beautiful woman. How's he scoring these beautiful women? I couldn't even get arrested in the female world. I had all the guys chasing me, but I couldn't. Man, I don't play that game, man. Come on, you know, I know I'm handsome and cute and all that stuff, but no, I don't play like that.
You're just waiting for me.
I was just waiting on Coco. That's
Thank
for
you.
dang sure.